Hey guys, welcome to another video on the channel. Today, or this video, we're working on your favorite redneck's car.
Mine.
Right? So your favorite redneck got this beautiful piece of metal here. We're not sure what it does. And then he has another chunk of metal.
I'm sure what it does.
And we don't know what this does. And I think this is for air.
Oh, totally.
Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to flash you.
Definitely air.
Yeah. Just for like size reference, that's what, 95?
90.
90.
90 mil throttle body. And this is the Holley Sniper EFI intake manifold. The 90 mil intake port. That came with the bill of fuel rail and the steel braided lines.
And it came with stickers. That's the most important part.
Always gotta have the stickers. But
Look at that.
got all the gaskets and individual port gaskets here. Vacuum fittings, all the miscellaneous bolts. But right now, what we're going to be doing is, unfortunately, with the BBK throttle body, so the way Holley designed their throttle body ports for the Holley Sniper, it's designed to go with their throttle bodies. Not saying you can't put a different company's throttle body on it, it's just the Holley Snipers are all drive-by-wire throttle bodies. Well, Diablo is not a drive-by-wire. It is, electronic controlled throttle body. Which I do have a spacer that came with it. I just don't feel like spending an additional $200-300 for another fucking spacer. So I'm gonna do a little bit of redneckery and this portion of the housing for the throttle control just barely hits this corner. You can kind of see the line that I scarred into it. Just barely hits this corner of the mount plate. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shave this down, and then I'm going to shave a little bit of this down, so hopefully I can get it to sit flush with the spacer on there, so I don't have to spend more money buying another spacer. So that's what I'm getting ready to do. Just been waiting for the battery to charge on the angle grinder, and I'm about to trim that up and hopefully get this bitch to sit flat like it's supposed to.
So Joe is going to tape it up so it doesn't get nothing down into his manifold and possibly chew some things up, because that would be a bad day. Joe in his redneck hole. So from the time lapse, you could see that Joe would cut, look, mock up, cut, and he finally got it, which is very nice.
Oh yeah.
Try not to shine the light in his face because this thing is bright. Ooh, good catch. Yeah.
Calm down for a second.
All right. Just gonna leave this out here for a second to think about what it's done. You thinking about assembling most of this tonight?
Yeah. Now that I got this trimmed, I'm going to do another mock-up of everything, and especially with the throttle body, at least get it tightened down make sure everything can seal right with the gaskets and everything in there. Because earlier I had it mocked up, you guys didn't see it, but I'll send William a picture of it that he can insert in so you can kind of have an idea of what we were doing. And then just going to mock it all back up after all this is nice and trimmed, and make sure that everything's going to work and fit together. If any of y'all decide to do the same thing that I'm doing, just take your time ever so slightly shaving it away. Because, first of all, it was sketching me out doing it in the first place, but at the same time, you don't want to do it too far and possibly poke through the housing wall of either this or wear down the integrity of the sidewall of the mounting plate on the manifold. So, just take your time and just do it right, because unfortunately that you can't just hit the reverse button. So I'm gonna get all this in here, get it re-mocked up, and test fit everything, make sure that it all works together before we go and slap it in the car tomorrow. Alright, so as you just saw, I went through, mocked it all up. After trimming that little piece down right here, now the throttle body and the spacer all sit flush on the mount plate. Obviously, so you got your high-rise fuel rail mounts. They're just mocked up in there since I don't have anything to mount it on. And then you got the steel braided transfer hose from one side to the other, but this is literally what's going to be going into the car tomorrow. Because once all this is all in, I got myself a nice little fancy tuner. And to start off, I'm gonna get a tune from Lund, just so they can get me a good tune right out the gate to be able to use and be able to drive the car around. But eventually, when I start putting bigger and better upgrades into it, I will be doing all the tuning and everything myself. Because once I get out of this place, I'm going over to Hennessy to go to school for a little bit down there in Texas. And once I'm all done with that, I'll be tuning my car, and then I'll be tuning both of his and whatever other ones he decides to get while I'm over there. So that's probably going to be it for tonight, but we'll be back tomorrow and we'll go through getting everything pulled out and getting this put in its place.
Very nice.
All right, now the next morning, we are now taking the strut tire brace off, the intake the plastics, intake manifold, fuel, all kinds of good stuff. Keep you all updated. I'm gonna pull the fuel pump fuse, run that so whenever we pull the fuel line off, we don't spray gas just everywhere. Less cause for a fire, and yeah, we don't need that on this car.
Especially if the fuel goes down and hits the headers, that's just going to catch up and fire real quick. And I would not like that to happen. So we're going to try and avoid that situation.
All right, stay tuned, Joe. Good. All the gas is out of it now. All right, Joe. So that was an adventure. Ugh, excuse me. This is way different than my 5.0. Well, not way different. There's just different parts, right? However, we got her off. Major pain in my butt. But I think I need a quick coffee break.
I feel it.
Yep.
Give the knees a break.
Yep. All right. But when you're doing these things, guys, take your time. Like Joe said yesterday, take your time. It'll benefit you in the long run.
Okay.
Is it?
Yep.
All right, cool. So, a couple problems that we are finding out. I'll let Joe explain them. Here you go.
So, it's technically not some issues, but it's just some minor things that they don't tell you about. So, first thing, obviously, on the back of the stock manifold, you have all these different evap control valves and everything. Well, did a lot of research, and you don't need this shit. So, that's disappearing. Your purge valve, you'll still need, so we'll pull this off and probably tuck it up underneath. There's a couple other little plugs back here from it that you don't need, so we'll have to clear those out. And then the other thing is, at first I was trying to figure out what these 4 ports were for. Well, these are all for when you do boost applications. So you have, you know, your boost inlets, one's for vacuum, one's for blow off. So we'll have to plug 3 of these up. I'll probably use the back one because it's closest to the brake booster, because that still needs one for vacuum, which not that big of a deal. I'm probably going to order up some blow off filters, put those on, and get rid of the little piping that they put with it. Long story short, good thing I can't technically drive right now, so I don't have to worry about rushing to get this back together. So I can take my time, make sure I get everything, get it in done the right way the first time, get the tune, and this thing is going to be screaming.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm getting ready to toss that in, do some quick test fitting, make sure everything lines up like it should, verify a couple other things fit in there, and then we'll be back. It's in there.
Yeah, this is great. Oh, Joe, how do you feel about it, dog?
So originally we were thinking that this Holley Sniper sat a lot taller than the stock manifold, but as you can see, it still fits in there the same height wise, because it's not the race version. So I'll still be able to run my support brace and, you know, be able to run everything just like I did, but I'm not be able to push more power.
More power, babe.
More power. But, you know, we're going to have a couple lines that we got to move and adjust out of the way so we can get everything else put back in there. But for right now, you know, we were at least able to get that little bit of the portion figured out, so we can slowly start working on getting all the other little details figured out and work on getting the rest of this put back together.
Let's get it. All right, guys. We're going to have to make this a two-parter because we cannot find anywhere open currently to get some lines for Joe.
Unfortunately, but it's not that big of a deal. Like I said earlier, you know, can't really drive for a little while, so, you know, it's going to give me plenty of time, take my time, get everything put together, get it done right, and so when I can finally drive again, start blowing some people out the water.
That's all I got for y'all today. Like, share, subscribe, and always have a great day.